Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Now update. I'm John Bachman. President Obama has been meeting with the leaders of 6 congressional committees today as lawmakers begin to consider his plan for a military strike against Syria. The president said the approval of Congress would send a stronger message to America's enemies rather than if he ordered a strike on his own.
I've made a decision that America should take action, but I also believe that we will be much more effective. We will be stronger if we take action together.
And yesterday, Republican Senators Lindsey Graham and John McCain said Mr. Obama assured them he had a solid strategy to strengthen the rebels and weaken the Assad regime at the same time. The senators agreed to sell the president's plan to skeptical colleagues in advance of a vote next week.
A rejection of that, a vote against that resolution by Congress, I think would be catastrophic because it would undermine the credibility of the United States of America and the President of the United States. None of us want that.
And with top Republicans already in conditional agreement, President Obama is sending Secretary of State John Kerry to Capitol Hill this week to win over enough lawmakers to ensure a victory. Meanwhile, Syrian President Bashar Assad is warning the U.S. against launching a strike against his country. He called the Middle East a, quote, powder keg and said if the U.S. attacks, there is a risk of a wider regional war in the Middle East. The Assad government still denies it used chemical weapons in attacks on its own people, including one 2 weeks ago. The U.S. officials say killed more than 1,400 people, including hundreds of children. And on a much lighter note, swimmer Diana Nyad is now out of the hospital and into the record books. On Monday, she became the first person ever to swim from Cuba to Florida without a shark cage. Nyad is 64 years old, so quite a feat there. The journey of more than 100 miles took her about 53 hours. It was her 5th attempt and came 35 years after her first try.
We should never, ever give up.
Nyad started her swim in Havana, Cuba. Along the way, a crew of about 35 people in 3 boats accompanied her. They monitored her health every 30 to 45 minutes. Now, after her swim, Nyad did have to go to a local hospital for observation, but she is now fine and resting. And good for her. Meanwhile, a Southwest Airlines flight carrying 124 people had to make an emergency landing in North Carolina. Just after takeoff Monday night, the Chicago-bound flight struck a bird. The pilot had to shut down one of the engines on the Boeing 737 and return the flight to Raleigh-Durham International Airport. Passengers say people on board were screaming and crying in the cabin, but everyone was fine once the plane made it back to the gate. That plane is now getting inspected for repairs. And next, see the fate of this coach blamed for starting a fight at a high school football game, plus a Newsmax exclusive with Democrat Henry Quellar on what the president needs to do to sell his Syria plan to Congress.
Attention hip implant patients. Are you in constant pain? Have you received a letter from your doctor about your implant? Have you had or need a revision surgery? Do you have high levels of metal, chromium, or cobalt in your blood? Over 90,000 hip implant devices have been recalled due to defects and failures resulting in revision or replacement surgery. If you have a recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-460-0920 to see if your implant is affected by the recalls. If you or a loved one has a defective or recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-460-0920. That's 800-460-0920. Protect your legal rights today. Call 800-460-0920. This is an advertisement, not valid in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. iLawsuit.com is an advertising group that represents lawyers advertising their services and is a free matching service for consumers. It is not a law firm or lawyer referral service.
Judging from everything you hear, you think all cholesterol is bad, but that's not really true. You need a certain amount of cholesterol to maintain good health. The problem is that too much cholesterol in your blood contributes to a plaque, a fatty substance that narrows the coronary arteries that feed blood flow to your heart. Picture your coronary arteries as a 4-lane highway. If one lane becomes blocked, traffic still flows well. 2 lanes, no major problem. But if a 3rd lane becomes blocked, that spells trouble. It's the same way with your coronary arteries. And when plaque slows their blood flow to your heart, this can even cause a heart attack. The good news is that when it comes to cholesterol, lifestyle changes can pay off big time. Even a small reduction in plaque can be like opening up another highway lane. Suddenly, blood flow that was stalled can go forward again. Changing your lifestyle does not have to be hard. And in fact, here are 3 ways to help you start lowering your cholesterol. Snack on nuts. Nuts are probably one of the easiest and tastiest ways to lower cholesterol. Walnuts and almonds are among the best. Bulk up your diet with fiber. Choose whole fruits instead of a fruit juice, brown rice instead of white, and if you're eating a baked potato, be sure to leave the skin on. Choose fish. Fish contains cholesterol-fighting omega-3 fatty acids. I'm Dr. Chauncey Crandall, and thanks for watching this Heart Health Minute. Remember, it's never too late to prevent or reverse heart disease. Right now, I invite you to discover your own risk for heart disease or even a heart attack by taking my quick, free online quiz at www.simplehearttest.com.
And welcome back. Not the example coaches should be setting here. A pair of high school football coaches in Alabama got into a fist fight after a game Friday night. The situation got worse, eventually turning into a bench-clearing brawl for both teams. The police had to come in to break it up. That coach blamed with throwing the first punch has been placed on administrative leave, and the Alabama High School Athletic Association is also investigating. And during a Newsmax exclusive with Texas Congressman Henry Quellar, we get the Democrats' thoughts on what the president's Syria plan must include to gain congressional support, even from his own Democratic Party.
We've had two wars that have cost us over $1.2 trillion, countless of lives, so we have to make sure we understand what the specific goals are.
And to see more of our exclusive interviews and content, stay with Newsmax.com. This has been your Newsmax Now update for September 3rd. I'm John Bachman.